Would you like to see how to generate real estate leads on Facebook for less than $1 a piece? If so, this is the tutorial you're going to want to check out. I'm going to show you click by click how to set up some of our favorite real estate ad campaigns that are generating leads at less than $1 a piece. Take a look. Hey everyone, Kevin Smullin with 2Q Lead Generation Strategies. If you're new to our channel, welcome. We're so glad you're here. What we're all about is helping real estate agents just like you generate more leads, set more appointments, and close more transactions. So if you're after more leads, appointments, and transactions, this is absolutely the place to be. Please consider subscribing to our channel. We'd love to have you here as part of our community. Before we get going on today's video, just one small little note. Down below in the description, you'll find a link to our Facebook Masters class where we go into detail about our best practices of what we do to generate leads, set appointments, and turn those appointments into transactions. So that is 2 hours. It's a free class. Go check that out. Fantastic information that you can use to grow your business. So make sure you take a look at that. Like I said, in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is how to set up a Facebook ad lead generation, ad, that's probably better, for real estate agents, what we're doing to get leads at about $1 a piece. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we will get things rolling. So you can see here in this ad account, we've just got example after example of where we're generating leads at right around $1 and many times even less than $1 per lead. So, and this is exactly what I'm going to show you how to set up click by click. But the point of me sharing this screen is just to show you that it's not an anomaly. It's not something that happened one time. This is something that we can absolutely just repeat over and over and over again. So with that, let me just go ahead and I'm going to do a tutorial style, walk you through this step by step of how to be generating leads, how to set up a lead generation campaign. So what we're going to do is you're going to click that green create button. That's going to bring this up and we are going to select the lead generation objective. Now, what's different about the lead generation objective is when you select that, when people click on the ad, there's going to be a lead capture form that pops up. That's how we're actually collecting the lead information from the person. What will happen is when that lead capture form pops up, the lead capture will fill in with their contact information. It will pre-fill their name, their phone number, their email address, and it's the information that's based on their Facebook account, which for a lot of people, because they keep that updated, it is the correct information. Now, can people go in and change that and give you bogus information? The answer is yes. But my take on that is if those people are going to change that information, they probably weren't going to do business with you anyway. So it's just part of the game. We let them go and it's fine. Plus, if you follow some of the other videos that I talk about how to track those people where even if they have provided bogus information, you're still going to be able to keep in front of them and be able to market to them through ads on Facebook. So with that being said, we are going to select lead generation as our objective, hit the continue button, and it's going to come up with the rest of this. So what I normally do for the campaign name is I will normally put the city, the MLS number, and then lead generation. So that way, the reason I do this as a naming convention, putting the name of the city where the property is located in, the MLS number or the address, and then lead gen is just by looking at the title of the campaign, I know exactly where it is, either the address or the MLS number, that it's a lead generation ad. It pretty much tells me everything that I need to know. Now, the special ad categories, this is what Facebook has put in because of the anti-discrimination practice that they've put as part of their Facebook ads process. So since housing is a restricted industry where you cannot restrict or you can't restrict based on protected statuses, age, gender, ethnicity, et cetera, et cetera. So we need to select housing. If you don't do that step right there, that's the number one reason why most real estate ads get rejected is they haven't selected it as a special ad category. So make sure that you do. The campaign details, I always leave it at auction. This is a lead generation ad. For the purposes of what I'm doing here, I'm not going to do an A/B test. and then I'm going to turn that off so that we can set the budget on the next screen. So that is everything for the first section. Now for the ad set, we're going to use the lead method as instant forms, right? Let people submit a form to become a lead, right? So we're going to do that. It's going to ask you what page you want to have this tied to. I'm just going to leave it as my business page for Facebook. And you budget and schedule. So again, the budget and schedule is totally up to you. Everyone always says, Kevin, how much should I do? And I always tell people that's the wrong question to be asking. What you should be asking is how many leads do you want? Because that's the better answer to the question. If you know that it's going to cost roughly around $1 of advertising per lead that we get, it's really a question of how many leads. If I said, how many leads do you want per day? And you said, I want 10 leads a day, then I would tell you that right around $10 should be what your budget should be. If you're like, well, I only want 5, then I'm going to tell you your budget should be around $5 a lead. $5 a day. So again, you're going to adjust your budget based on how many leads you want, also based on, your advertising budget, what you can afford to do. But that is the better question. How many leads do you want per day? And that really should dictate what your daily budget is. So it's going to start as of right now at that time. I normally put an end date. Now, the kind of ad that I'm going to show you is a buyer lead generation, where we're advertising a listing to get interest from potential buyers. So with ads like that, where we're advertising a specific property, because the market is so crazy and there's such a demand for housing in most parts, a lot of times these ads are worthless after a few days because the property is under contract. So normally I will typically set it for a week out unless there's a reason to do something different. And so that's what I would do here is I would set this for 1 week out from the time that I'm starting it. So I've now specified my budget, start time, and end time. Now for the audience, for lead generation, we normally with a lead generation ad want to get in front of new people. This is not a retargeted ad where we want to keep showing content to someone we know. Once we have gathered somebody's contact information as a lead, we don't need to keep doing lead generation ads to that person because we already have their contact information. There's just no reason to do that. So 99.9% of the time when you're doing a lead generation ad, you're probably not going to use the custom audiences that you would use for retargeting. We use those for other things. If you've watched a lot of the tutorials on my channel, then you know that I use those for marketing like videos or just listed, just sold, under contract, things that are going to help you build credibility because that's what that would be used for. In our case, we want to get out in front of new people. So I normally will set this to people living in this location. And the reason why I want to set that is because if I were to keep it here, the ones who were recently in this location, I would end up doing a little bit of marketing to people who had traveled to the area where the property is. And that's probably not who I want to be marketing to. So what I would normally do is select people living in this location so that it cuts the travelers out. As far as the location goes, what I would typically do is I would typically just do the city where the property is located. So let's say this is in Los Angeles. I would do that. Now this is going to select the default is a 15-mile radius. The reason why 15 miles is the default is because Facebook views that as non-discriminatory, right? You can set it at a county level. You could market everybody in a county. You can pick a city. Unless there's a compelling reason to do something different just based on the geography of the area, a lot of times I just pick the location where the property is and do a 15-mile radius. Here you might, I don't know, depending on it, you might want to go out 20 miles, right? So you can do that. And you can see that just extends the circle. It extends the number of people that we're targeting and so on and so forth. But as far as location goes, that's what I will typically do. For the age, because this is a special housing ad, cannot change age, cannot change gender. Now for the detailed targeting, this is where I will do some things differently depending on what it is that I'm marketing. So a lot of times I will put in Zillow. Again, the thought process is if they're interested in Zillow or their website or anything like that, they're probably people that I want to be in front of as far as real estate marketing is concerned. I will do a similar thing with Realtor.com, another one with Trulia, and you get the idea. You could do this with any of those other real estate websites as well. I believe Home.com is on here, something like that. Homes.com. There you go. And so there's lots of different ones that you can do. But this is kind of the standard targeting. Now, if I'm marketing a home that's like in a first-time buyer price range, there are categories for first-time buyer and first-time home buyer grant. Again, the people who are interested in these things would also likely be interested in the property that I'm going to market. So I'll use those. Starter home is another one that I'll typically use for that. If I need to get more people, there are people looking for, like, people who are interested in rent to own. There's a percentage of those people who probably could qualify for a mortgage right now, and they just don't know that they could. And so that can be a decent one to market to. Again, these are kind of the ones that I market to if it's like a first-time buyer type home. If it's more of like a move-up home to where I want to be marketing to people who already have a home, then I would do things like home repair, home improvement. Another one that I often do is interior design. Again, if people are interested in these kinds of things, the likelihood of them having a home is far greater, right? You used to be able to target homeowners, and now that you can't do that anymore, you have to be a little creative about how you go about it. But if people are interested in things pertaining to a home, then there's a really good chance that those people own a home, right? And that's who I want to be marketing to. So that's kind of the thought process and things you want to go through as you are deciding who it is that you actually want to target and who you want to market to. Now, with what I've put in, Facebook is estimating that the potential audience is 1.3 million people. Everyone always says, well, Kevin, what should that number be at? And my response is it needs to be high enough that you actually have people to market to. But aside from that, the number doesn't really matter. Because if I've specified who it is that I'm interested in, regardless of what that number is, that's who I want my ad in front of, right? So whether that's 50,000 people or whether it's 1.3 million, it's kind of the same, just depending on population in your area. The key is getting the right content in front of the right eyeballs. And this is going to help you get in front of the best eyeballs possible. Okay. Now, so that's really what I would do for the targeting. For the placements, I do edit the placements. Now, if you are going to also run your ad on Instagram, go ahead and leave that checked. But I always, for lead generation ads, I uncheck the audience network. And then in the feed section, I'll typically get rid of video feeds because the ad that we're running is probably not a video, so I'll normally get rid of that. Stories, I will leave that checked. In stream, these are the ads that pop up in the middle of videos. I don't like those, so I would get rid of that. And then same with in article, the ads that pop up as people are reading an article. So the ones that I will typically use are search, stories, and then feeds. That's normally where I will select the ad to go. Okay, everything else is optimized the way that we want, so that's done. I'm just going to hit the next button. Now it's going to say use the Facebook page and then select the Instagram account where I want the ads to show up. Okay, now we are going to create an ad. We're going to do the single image or video, and I've already prepared a graphic just to kind of speed this up and save time. It's that one right there. And so what I'll typically do is create an image that has a picture of the exterior, a picture of a couple of the other shots inside the house, things that people are going to be interested in. Living areas, kitchen, bedrooms. If the backyard or something is fantastic, I'll do a shot of that. But it's just to get people, it's to give them enough information to get excited about the house so that they want to learn more. So over here in the preview, you can see a preview of what that is going to look like. And then in the primary text field, I've got a template that I've put together that I use for these ads. So again, in the interest of time, I'm just going to copy and paste. So this is kind of the template that I use. And so let me just kind of break it down. I start off with a headline. I do put little emojis and kind of things like this just because as people are scrolling through Facebook, when they see those kinds of things, because it's a little bit different, it tends to stand out and get somebody's attention, which is what I want to do anyway. I want to grab somebody's attention. I will typically put 2 paragraphs of information about the home, and I'm intentionally not giving them the address, the price, and the rest of the photos, because that's kind of the carrot that I'm dangling in front of them to get them to respond to the ad. If I give them everything about the property, they have no reason to interact with the ad. And then that hurts your ability to collect leads. So what I'm offering, you can see right here, click on the button below to see the price, the address, and more photos, right? And so that is the purpose of that. Now, the rest of the information that's here, so we've put the name and then the brokerage, name of the agent who's advertising and the brokerage. Again, that's for compliance. You may be in a state where they require you to put your license number. If that's the case, great. Just add one more line and put your license number there as well. Again, being in compliance is so easy. Frankly, there's no reason not to do it. And then the line below that is this. So a lot of times people say, well, Kevin, this is great and all, but I don't have a listing of my own to advertise. Well, you can borrow one, right? As long as you get permission, just ask somebody. And frankly, if you were the listing agent, imagine somebody came up to you and said, hey, I'd love to run some ads and try and help you sell that property that you have listed. What are you going to say? Yeah, go for it, right? Of course. So again, get permission. It's the right thing to do. But then we just add a line at the bottom that says listing courtesy of so-and-so with so-and-so. That way you're not misrepresenting yourself as being the listing agent. And that's how we take care of that. So as far as the text of the ad, this is what I would do. Then the headline is going to show up right here, and the headline that I normally put is just that. It's the main call to action. Click for the price, the address, and the rest of the photos with a little arrow pointing to that little button right there. And then I change that call to action to read learn more, because that's a lot less intimidating than sign up, right? Sign up causes kind of red flags and people to panic. So we just leave it as learn more. And that tends to work best. So I now have my ad completely formatted. The last step is formatting the instant form. Now, just so you can see how to do this from scratch, I'm going to start from scratch. So again, the naming convention that I normally do is city and MLS number. I don't need to put lead gen because this is a lead form. I already know it's a lead gen. So that would be what I would typically do for the form name. For the intro, I usually use the image from the ad as the background. And then for the greeting, since my call to action is for them to get the price, the address, and the photos, that's what I put. Click to see the address, price, and photos. Now, in the paragraph, it makes you put something, but in my opinion, it's kind of overkill. So I'll normally just put a line like that, just so that there's something in there. But again, you can see in the preview, I really don't need anything more than that. Okay, the next section is the questions. This is the information that we are going to collect. So this description, you also need to put something here. So I just put fill out the form below. And it helps if you spell correctly. Fill out the form below to see the home information. Now, I normally put it in the order of name, email, and then I'm going to add in the phone number. So I'm collecting name, email, and phone number, and you can see the preview of what that's going to look like right here. So I've now got the fields of my form all figured out. The next field or the next screen is the privacy. So for the link text, I normally just put privacy policy, and then you need to put a link to wherever your privacy policy is. Now, most websites, I'll go to one of my clients' listing or one of my clients' websites because I know he's got it. But most real estate websites, if you go to the very bottom of it, see right here where it says privacy policy. So you can just go to the privacy policy, take this link right here, and that is what's going to go right there. Okay. So if you don't have your own website and you need a privacy policy, go to your brokerage's website. They will always have a privacy policy on the brokerage website. If for some reason they don't have one, go to your MLS, right? The MLS has a privacy policy. Same thing, copy it, put it right here. Basically just says you're not going to sell people's information without their consent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So that takes care of the privacy policy. And then the last is the thank you screen. This is what they see once they have filled out the lead form. So I'll normally leave the headline, and then the description is you can see all the home information by clicking on the blue button below. So there's this blue button down here in the corner that they're going to, or down here that they're going to see. And when they click on that, we're going to have that take them to the home, or to the website with all the home information. So I normally label that so that they can see the home information. That way it's pretty clear. And then the link, so the link to wherever the home is, and I know this isn't it, but let's say you would go find the property on your own website or on the MLS and grab that link. I'm just going to use this one for the purposes of this demo. And then that's what you would put right there, so that when they click on this button, it's going to take them to the website that has all the information that we promised to give them. The worst thing that you can do is get somebody to give you their lead information and not give them what they want. They're just going to be upset, and you're kind of starting that relationship off on the wrong foot. So you want to make sure you're giving them what you promised to give them. With that, I would hit the publish, and you can see right underneath the preview of the ad, now you're going to see a preview of the screen capture. So there's the lead information, privacy policy, and then the final screen where they're actually going to go. Now, if this were a real ad, I would simply hit the publish button, and that's going to send the ad to Facebook for their review and make that ad go live. So since this is not a real ad, I'm not going to do that. But that is step by step how you create a lead generation campaign through Facebook, so that you're generating real estate leads for around $1, sometimes less. So if you found that helpful, click the thumbs up button. That split second of doing that helps us tremendously. Also lets us know what kind of content you like, so that we can create more of that for you. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Right, this is one of the greatest real estate marketing channels on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, and you'll get notifications all the time of every new video that we put out. We put out new videos every single week. Also, I'm going to put up a couple new videos here. Make sure you go check those out. You can learn some new strategies and new things about marketing your business. And lastly, if you're curious about our services, of what we do to help agents generate leads, turn the leads into appointments, and close more deals, if you're interested in that, down in the description below, you'll see a link to our website that has more information about those services. That is it. Have a great week. Keep crushing it in your real estate business. If we can help you, let us know. We'd love to do that. Otherwise, we will see you on the next video. Take care.